Welcome to this session, this Zoom session for the WFDA, celebrating our Neurodivergent Advocate Leadership Programme. A bunch of excellent and neurofabulous people, stolen from Becky Morris, that title, and we're going to be giving an overview of that programme. Just need to give a bit of context here. It's celebrating ND leadership, but it's also funded by the National Lottery. And they funded it for a year from May to May 24 to May 25. So we're coming to the end of our programme. And this Zoom session is part of our dissemination of the programme and all the fantastic work the 9 advocates have been doing. It's also championed by the Mayor of Waltham Forest, Sharon Waldron, which means there'll be an event next week in person on Thursday, the 10th of April at 6:30 at Waltham Forest Town Hall, and everybody's invited to come. So it's my very great pleasure to introduce Dee and Andree, who are representing the advocates, to talk about the 6 training sessions that these wonderful neurofabulous advocates delivered. So, shall we go to Dee first?
Yes, thanks, Catherine. Hello, everyone. Can you all hear me okay?
Can hear you fine, thanks, Dee.
Great, brilliant. Yeah, hello, everyone. Yes, I'm Dee, and there's also Andree, who will introduce herself later. We both thank you for attending this evening's session. In the past, Andree and I have successfully collaborated on a number of WFDA presentations, and today we're working together on tonight's Neurodivergent Leadership, groundbreaking work by advocates in East London, to give you the outline of NALP, that is the Neurodivergent Advocates Leadership Programme, which has been funded by the National Lottery, as Catherine mentioned, and has helped be possible by Waltham Forest Dyslexia Association, or WFDA, and AchieveAbility. So I'm a participant on the WFDA adult program. I'm founder of the community interest company Dyslexia Feel Good Fun Day and future host of the arts-based podcast Creatively Creatives. Next slide. Oh, you've already gone. Nope. Yeah, thanks. So outline for tonight's session. We'll be outlining and reviewing the 6 advocate talks of the programme. Tonight's session has 3 sections. Purpose of NALP and the first 3 advocate talks presented by me. And the next 3 talks will be presented by Andree. And then the other advocates will have engagement at the end, and there'll be a question and answer session as well. We'd be most grateful if you can please save your questions till the end after Andree's done her talk as well. Thank you. Next slide, please, Catherine. So who are the advocates? There are 9 of us, and as you can see there are the list of advocates that took part. And it's important to note that as advocates are drawn from different backgrounds, professions, roles, and have different skills. We also come from across the UK. And the picture there of the otter is the logo of the ND Advocates Programme. Next slide, please, Catherine. So what did the advocates have to say about the programme? Jenny O, our talks have all been insightful, showing all our personalities. Through the support of the group, our confidence has grown. An anonymous quote is, I feel more self-assured and also open to learning. The advocate programme has had a hugely positive impact on me, personally and professionally. Next slide, please, Catherine. So the purpose and aims of NALP, the Neurodivergent Advocates Leadership Program. Firstly, it raises awareness of unique perspectives of ND adults. Secondly, it enhances neuromajority colleagues' understanding of the effectiveness of neurodivergent leaders. Then we've got that it shows unique ND perspectives contributing to success in education, training, or employment. And lastly, it showed effective advocacy by ND people for ND people as core to our inclusive leadership program. Next slide, please. So, as mentioned, there are 6 talks, and here are the first 3 talks, which I'll present, and then Andree will talk about the next 3. All the topics were chosen by the advocates. So we start with types of leadership given by Dr. Catherine Hewlett. Second talk was the unique attributes of ND leaders, inclusive leadership given by Becky Oxley. And the third talk was organizational culture and value, EDI, leadership and intersectionality given by Jenny O. Next slide, please. Catherine provides an overview of NALP and discussion on different types of leadership. The talk starts with historical and socio-cultural context of leadership, then goes on in number 2. We look at the great man theory of the 1840s. This was the thinking that leaders are born and not made. Then we move on to trait theory, behavioral theory, situational leadership, transactional and transformational leadership. And then in points 6 and 7, bring us right up to the big change and today's new leadership thinking, where there is the focus on leadership as a collective social process resulting from the interactions of multiple factors. But of course, we all know that leadership is ever changing all the time. Next slide, please. In Becky's unique attributes of ND leaders, inclusive leadership talk, Becky splits the talk into 4 parts. Part 1 was looking at the recognition of the struggles ND people face in career progression, inclusive recruitment, accommodation of different working styles, and the use of technology. Also in part 1, there were points made regarding neurodivergent characteristics like communication, cultural intelligence, and empathy. Both Becky and Catherine in their case studies shared their ND experience in their careers, study, and work roles. Next slide, please, Catherine. So last talk that I'm going to be presenting on was Jennifer's talk, Leadership for EDI, Neurodiversity, Intersectionality, and Organizational Culture and Values. Firstly, intersectionality was described as embracing the unique backgrounds, experiences, thoughts, and perspectives on each individual. And then we were taken through definitions of equality, diversity, and inclusion, in other words, EDI. With the takeaway that all 3 of these rely on each other to be successfully achieved. We then looked into leadership, organizational culture, and values, and we'll hear a bit more about these in a quick clip that we'll show shortly. Jennifer also highlighted that leaders affect team morale and well-being, and that essential values of a leader are purpose, opportunity, success, appreciation, and well-being. Next slide, please, Catherine. So what I got from the program. my personal takeaways from taking part in NALP are that I've learned to communicate better as a leader. I continue to feel ever more part of the ND community. I'm in a better position now, understanding colleagues' backgrounds and their needs. And I have more recognition of the impact of intersectionality in the workplace and in my practice as a leader. And next slide, please, Catherine. So we'll have some clips of the talks now. The first clip is from Becky's talk on unique leader attributes, and is Kenya talking about her attribute of social justice. And the second clip, there's Becky on neurodivergent perspectives and reaction to hierarchy. And then from Jennifer's talk, we have the highlights on leadership and a response to organizational culture and values. Thanks.
It's still with me, calling people out. I was at a conference this afternoon. They wouldn't give me a chance. I think they saw on my face that I was going to ask a very interesting question. So they didn't give me the opportunity. Yeah, but that's that. Yeah, those are my attributes. Yeah, that sense of justice is quite high on my list.
Natural for us to think in that way of being guarded over our ideas and not wanting to share with other people and not seeing something working. We want to make it work more. You know, we then one idea develops onto another.
There is the negative of how it feels like. I'm sure we all know how it feels like, but I was trying to look at the positives in bold here. So how can we make sure people feel empowered? They don't feel disempowered. How can we make sure that they have access to resources and services so they're not feeling shut out? How can they feel safe? And that means not feeling unsafe. And how can they experience a sense of belonging so that they're not alienated and that they can express themselves openly so they don't feel that they have to mask or hide or that they're feeling judged or that they're not up to the standard. So they're open questions. I definitely don't have the answers to these, but when we're a leader, can we be thinking about these few things? And then I thought if it's all right, I'll just say a few words of sort of things that I'd read about of what we can do.
Great, thank you. So that's me. And now I hand you over to Andree to present the next 3 advocate talks. Thanks, Andree.
Thank you very much, Dee, and hello, everybody. Well, who am I? I work as a havening practitioner. I teach neurodiversity and form mindfulness. I'm currently training to be an ADHD coach, and occasionally I guest talk on a podcast called The Truth About Dyslexia. So today I'll give a brief overview of 3 thought-provoking talks created by the following advocates. It's Kenya Nyameshe, Alicia Brown, and Andrew VC. Each talk includes a summary of a few key points that caught my interest. Next slide, please, Catherine. So the first talk is Emotional Intelligence, Difficult Conversations, Leading Teams, and Dealing with Complexity and Fragility by Kenya Nyameshe. Firstly, Kenya talks about understanding emotional intelligence. It's about recognizing, understanding, and managing our emotions and those of others. Daniel Goleman, who coined the term, highlights 5 key components, and they are self-awareness, self-regulation, motivation, empathy, and social skills. The second point Kenya made was about navigating difficult conversations. She talks about how emotional intelligence is crucial for addressing performance issues, resolving conflicts, and advocating for yourself. Another point she made is exploring complexity and fragility. A good leader should recognise when people feel vulnerable, excluded or unsupported. An inclusive leader adapts their approach to reflect the diversity of the backgrounds, abilities and experiences in the workplace. Next slide, please. So let's watch 2 clips from Kenya's talk where she explains complexity and fragility clearly, and she'll talk about talk is communication and values, understanding people's motivations and common goals by Alicia Brown. So she's looking in from a neurodiverse lens. She talks about effective communication styles. Active listening is crucial for a leader. They should avoid aggressive or authoritarian styles. Instead, use empathetic, inclusive, and collaborative approaches. Clear and structured communication improves interactions within neurodiverse teams. Alicia also talks about navigating neurodiversity in leadership, understanding that neurodivergent individuals may process information and communicate differently. A leader should recognise non-verbal cues and body language and provide supportive spaces to bridge communication gaps and enable inclusivity. Moving forward, we hope that good leaders will value diverse communication styles and encourage an engaged environment that allows for everybody's contributions. Next slide, please. I'm now going to share 2 slides from Alicia's talk. She addresses the challenges neurodiverse individuals face in balancing active listening with processing and being sensitive to communication styles.
Do you want to talk a little bit about delayed communication due to processing?
Yeah, so as I discussed earlier, delayed communication could mean a lot of things. Processing, for me, sometimes I am not processing straight away. It takes a little bit of time because of the tension. But if I am actually interested in the subject, if I get to be my authentic self, even the way I approach something we're creating as a group, the longevity of that attention span will be longer because I'm interested. I'm more interested because I'm doing it my way. But I do have the common goal and the focus on that goal inside of what we really want to achieve.
And does body...
Or why they like, because they have no other way. Can you imagine having a headache and you can't talk, you know? So that's what I mean about aggressive communication in a positive way. If that makes any sense. Yeah, thanks.
It's about, I suppose, about being sensitive, which is what you were talking about earlier. It's about being sensitive to other people's differences.
Yes.
And recognising that what might appear to be aggression actually isn't. It's just the way somebody's trying to communicate, as opposed to being somebody purposefully being aggressive in order to be very forceful with somebody else, yeah?
Correct. Which is the authoritarian type.
Okay.
And I forgot the other one now. You can just remind me.
Authority.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So the next talk, final talk, is Recognising Neurodiverse Leadership Effectiveness with Neuromajority Colleagues by Andree VC. Andrew first talks about enhanced creative problem solving. Neurodivergent leaders bring unique perspectives that enhance creative problem solving. Their ability to think outside of the box allows them to tackle complex challenges in innovative ways. He also talks about strategic vision. ND leaders often possess a strong strategic vision. Their ability to see the bigger picture and anticipate future trends makes them effective in guiding organizations towards long-term success. And then he talks about high-quality leadership. Neurodivergent leaders drive success by challenging out-of-the-box conventional practices. One of the creative neurodivergent business leaders we'd all know is Richard Branson, and he demonstrates how leveraging neurodivergent strengths can really lead to groundbreaking achievements. Next slide, please, Catherine. I'm now going to share 2 key clips from Andrew's talk. The first highlights why neurodivergent individuals excel in leadership, and the second challenges the myth of scattered thinking, revealing its true value.
So why are neurodivergent people good leaders? Well, there are a number of reasons why we are good leaders. The first example, which I've obtained from Fast Company, and I will click on that link in a moment. So just to explain, so neurodivergent individuals who are traditionally labelled as poor fit are likely to bring original thinking and honesty to help leadership teams think more carefully, objectively, and creatively, enhancing the competitive advantage. And so how is this actually received by majority colleagues? Well, neurodivergent people are often the ones who will advocate for other people. They're the ones who have very good organisational skills. And this strategy here, which I am just going to copy and paste so you can see this, and I'm trusting Microsoft Edge to still not have the Study Tech app on. And so this here, and the fact that so what gets labelled as scattered thinking meeting often masks an ability to manage multiple complex challenges simultaneously, a crucial skill in today's fast-paced workplace environments. And that can occur, in day-to-day. Say, for example, I can be delivering a training session with a student and one of my colleagues may get stuck. And also, I'm getting a colleague text me or saying, can you, for example, meet another student at another time? So I'm doing 3 things at once. They may seem very scattered, but actually we're dealing with the situation, we're moving things forward, and we're portraying a good, positive impact on our customers. So as only when managers and colleagues alike engage with thoughtful and productive dialogue about each other's preferences that the true potential of the whole team can be unlocked.
So embracing neurodiversity is vital for us all. Being part of this group has been transformative for me, offering a safe place for me to express myself, connect with others, and really embrace who I truly am. The group has helped individuals understand themselves, articulate ideas, and develop public speaking skills. This group is not just a community, it's a space filled with talent, support, leadership, and shared understanding. Next slide, please. I encourage you to check out these talks. They're the speakers are really highly knowledgeable and experienced. Dee and I have given the overview, and now we'll hand you over to the other advocates who are happy to answer your questions.
Okay, well done, Dee and Andree.
Can I just interject, Catherine? Before I let you talk, I just want to take a moment to express our deepest gratitude to Catherine. Without you, none of this would have happened. You dedicate your time, your energy, and your unwavering support to us all. You work tirelessly behind the scenes without actually seeking any, recognition or gratification for it. So I'd like everybody to put their hands together and acknowledge and appreciate Catherine's dedication, hard work, and difference that makes it, she makes a difference in everybody's life that she meets.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Catherine.
Thank you, Catherine.
Thank you, Andree.
Thank you, Catherine.
Thank you. Well, thank you for that. Very kind. Shall we get on to the accolades for the advocates? And do anybody have any questions for the advocates who are here? We've got Andree and Dee who gave the delivery on behalf of the advocates, but we have Becky here. We have Linda from a previous advocate program, Andrew, Becky Oxley, Kenya, I think, and Andrew. Yes, those are the advocates that are here today. So any questions for advocates? What was it like, advocates being part of the programme? Can we have some thoughts about that? Because it was a huge amount of work, wasn't it? Incredibly hard.
One thing I would say is that the program has been very good in developing skills that I wouldn't necessarily have developed in my day-to-day role. And as a result of the skills I have developed, I did apply, as you know, for an interview for a promotional job, which will utilize the skills that I already have and the skills that I've learned, and also learning to work with people from a variety of different backgrounds, because predominantly I deal with students and, I'm there to facilitate their learning needs, but actually working as part of a team, having an appreciation of those differences, and actually, people communicating regularly on WhatsApp. So there was a real sense of being part of a community, although we are logistically far apart. So, and I think having that mutual support for each other shows that commitment. And obviously people were working quite hard and the talks were all very well received. So, and I'd like to thank everyone for an excellent project.
Yeah, it was hard work, wasn't it, Andrew? And I'm glad that you've personally got a lot out of it. Becky, did you want to say something?
Yeah, well, we're actually going to say very similar things to Andrew, to be honest. So that I think there's been so much that I think collectively we've all got out of it, and also individually, because obviously I've changed jobs during the programme as well, and also it's given me a lot more confidence. And I think as well, it's enabled me to tell a lot of people about the group. They're not on their own. There's a lot of because before I didn't come across necessarily that many neurodiverse people. Or I probably did, but nobody talks about it. Nobody says anything, so you don't know. And I'm like, trust me, there is a lot of very intelligent, and I'm constantly talking about everybody. And I said they're all smart, because we're all smart in our own ways. And since if I'm a diverse across the country, I says it's fantastic. I says, and everybody's wanting to give back and help everybody else and just make it better, and I do think, especially with AI and everything else coming out, the neurodiverse way of thinking is going to be so much more, because you can't imitate that, can you? A computer can't think like we can think, it's not like, programmers, I feel sorry for them, because eventually the computer will do that, but we are hardwired differently, and I think, yeah, it's great, brilliant. So yeah, I'll stop talking and let somebody else chip in. But
I think it's innovation to our borough, qualities that make Waltham Forest stronger and more dynamic. Throughout my time as Mayor, one of my chosen charity initiatives is the Waltham Forest Dyslexia Association. This fantastic organisation provides vital support, guidance and resources to individuals with dyslexia and their families. Their work empowers people to thrive in education, employment and everyday life. And I'm honoured to champion a cause so close to my heart. On Thursday, the 10th of April, I'll be holding a Neurodiversity Awareness in Leadership event alongside the Waltham Forest Dyslexia Association. To find out more, please click the Eventbrite link on this post. Happy Neurodiversity Celebration Week.
Okay, you heard it here. Yeah, it's nice. So let's just stop the